God is nearby. My last breath. The liquid blood is near. The blood of God. The only thing that can keep me alive. I decay. And every moment I live. Nothing more but a walking corpse. I can smell the ivory blood. The smell alone is enough to fix my throat. The smell alone is enough to drive a corpse like me into desperation. I need to live. Hey Anthony, welcome back. Take a seat, if you will. I'm here to tell you a story that I told you a long time ago. You remember when I mentioned the gods of decay? Now do you really think wasting your free time to tell nothing more about bedtime stories told to children to, keep them in check? We all know, I at least know, that the gods of decay are nothing more than a myth. The fact that there's only one of them that lives, that's still living. There's no such thing, John. But if you're willing to tell a fairy tale to pass the time instead of training, this must be a good one. Oh, trust me, the gods of decay are real. I've seen one myself. You'll remember what I said, right? But you don't know half of it. The horror stories? Had someone even as powerful as dear old Zeus, the Greek god of lightning, scared of, nothing more than just that. A god that can decay any of their surroundings. A Greek god of decay is a corpse, a walking bioweapon for you humans, or at least that's what you humans would call it. Well, the people who are humans here, or scientists. But it's something much more than just a bioweapon. It's destruction itself. You see, the gods of decay can't really control their decay. It's too powerful. It's too condensed. Which is why most of them end up dying off. There's only one thing that could keep them alive. And that's the veins of a god. The ivory liquid. Golden blood. We all know of golden blood, right? If y'all remember correctly, golden blood is what's used by most black market or assassination groups to, make a bullet so strong it could kill even a god. Or at least depower them. Rid them of their powers for a couple days, weeks, depending on the type of blood you get, of course. This bullet would not work on the gods of decay, mostly because there's no need to. Their powers are so condensed that They can't keep it in check. Their bodies can't keep that power in them. And when one eventually dies off, it spreads. You remember the Black Plague? It happened in 1899? That was no ordinary plague. That was no ordinary sickness. Millions died, trillions even. If I didn't step in, who knows how many more would have died. Multiple gods of decay died at once, releasing decay itself. Their bodies turning into black dust, spreading around. Now, one dying by themselves, that's not necessarily a casualty rating, but imagine thousands, if not millions, of decayed gods dying at once. It's enough to, well, I think you get the picture. Not a lot of houses survived after that. Their essence, their ashes, they basically self-cremate. Start to spread around like pollen, like fungus, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's sickening, a sickening sight to see, and trust me, if any man saw a decayed god, they'd whimper in fear. They're walking corpses, their skin rotting, their bones melting off, like their body is holding an acid that they cannot handle. And again, the only thing that could help them out is the blood of a god. It's enough to keep them alive. Of course, no god's willing to just give up their blood. I don't know what's scarier. Well, what may scare all of you. Seeing a decayed god, living the life of a decayed god, or knowing how they act. They're maniacs, they're unresolved. They'll take the blood of all gods. Even if a god was nice enough to give them some, they take more than they need. They're animals, wild animals set loose, waiting for the right chance. They can smell the blood of a god from miles away. They don't even try to scream. They feel every single second, every pain, the pain of their flesh fusing, melting, decaying like a corpse, and they don't even bother to scream because their lungs have collapsed. Their lungs are giving out. It's rare to see a god of decay, especially in the later stages, be able to talk. And if they did have the ability to talk, they don't do it that much. A god of decay is only here for one purpose and one purpose only. Bring decay, bring destruction, bring death, and eventually die. That's all they're here for. There's no permanent cure. Even the blood of a god ain't enough to keep them from, well, rotting. It only stops it. It only heals it. They only go back to normal for some time until eventually again it starts happening all over again. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. They're just husks of them for ourselves. No, there's one way to relieve them of their curse. But it is not a way that they want. The god of decay chooses their life, chooses to live it the way they want to. Bringing decay is all they want to do. The only way is to fully rid them of their powers, and they don't want that. All they want is a world where they're in charge, where ivory blood flows from the mountains, the rivers, the oceans. There's only one living god of decay left. And the only reason he's alive is because he's made a deal. Mate, that sounds horrifying, grotesque, like you feel like you're about to puke after hearing what you've heard, after hearing something be described in such a way that you can't get it out of your head. Nah, mate, I was gonna say that sounds cool. Could you imagine seeing a walking, talking corpse? Not one in an animatronic suit, mate, but one out of an animatronic suit. That is always decaying. That sounds like a cool monster design if you ask me, mate. Foxy has a point, but at the same time, my cat half wants to throw up. Which, how is there only one ever living? You said that ivory liquid, or I guess golden blood, is the only thing that can keep them intact, and from the amount of tests that I've done on you, we know that you have golden blood. So one, how do we know you're not, a detriment to this team? And two, how is a god of decay still alive to this day? You said they've all existed since the time when gods used to roam around. When you said that, it sounded like that happened years before humanity or monsters ever came into existence. Way before the war that led my kind into, well, that death trap of a mountain, before we were forever sealed in here. Well, I'm sorry, underground. So, how... Glad to know that you were all paying attention to my campfire story. But to answer your question, remember what I said back when I first talked about this, and now he made a deal. Why, yes, God the Decay can only stay alive through the blood of gods. There are also temporary ways they can live. To make a deal with a man with the power of voodoo. You see, a voodoo expert like Mr. Crowmaster, who our dear friend Anthony here has fought, is, well, an expert in voodoo. Voodoo works in a way that magic does. By making a deal with a magic user, such as someone who uses voodoo, that magic, they can make a deal, a pact, if you will. Well, at least in the terms of voodoo. The voodoo expert can make sure that the corpse or the god of decay can live for as long as they can. While the god of decay becomes a servant of the voodoo expert. Of course, depending on the magic source, depends on Depends on what will happen. For voodoo, it's a contract. For every other magic user, it may be a fey pact. It may be something else entirely. It may not even be a pact at all. Not the point. Magic can heal him. Not fully, though. It can keep him alive. You see, there are stages to being a god of decay. There's stage 1, fully human. Stage 2, somewhat decaying. Leaving off at stage 5, decayed. That's not a stage you want to hit. That is the stage of death. Stage 4, however, is a lot more different. Lungs collapsed, limp, bones showing, flesh melting. When making a pact with a magic user like that, like Mr. Crowmaster over there, the magic will keep the god of decay from going to stage 5, keeping them permanently at stage 4, but never bringing them back one stage. Any other magic user that has the power of healing can only bring them back a couple stages here and there, but never to the human stage. The ivory blood, however, is a little bit more different. Golden blood can not only bring a god of decay back to their human form, it can bring them back for a couple days. It's enough to last them a week, depending on how they do it. One drop of blood is enough to bring them back to fully human for multiple days at a time. The only thing is that the gods of decay get a little bit greedy. And before you ask, no, the blood of a god does not become stale over time. It doesn't lose its flavor. It doesn't become so old to the point where it doesn't work. This is God's blood we're talking about. This is a blood produced by gods. It does not work in the ways that human blood does. The only person that could fully heal this corpse back to stage 1, well, you're looking at him. Why I don't do it? Simple. They don't care for my kindness. They'll still attack. They'll still kill. They'll still decay. I see nothing but evil in their futures. Therefore, it's better just to let them die off. Or, well, put their suffering to an end. But since I like to play with my food, well, you could assume which option I choose. Well, lovely story and all, but what does that have to do with? Why are the walls melting? Right on time. Gentlemen, Foxy, Twisted, Anthony, you may want to give me some space here. Don't get too close, unless of course you want to end up like him. And by the way, before you ask, yes, it does work on metal. It works on any material, organic or non-organic. I've been waiting for you, Decay. Or should I say the walking corpse? Right on time. Your blood will be mine, God of insanity.